Oh, look at these. It's so pretty. It's like middle of nowhere. And then there's all these beautiful trestle tables and the pretty fairy lights that Simon won't let me buy.
Yeah.
Look at how pretty they are.
They're so practical.
Good enough for Rawlinna, it's good enough for us, Dal.
So we were at just at the train station this morning, which is where the Indian Pacific pulls in. They have like this twilight dining experience or something, or maybe it's just champagne, something about champagne and I don't know. Anyway, it's she's a pretty old rundown station, but they've dressed it up a bit with some nice tables and the fairy lights. We couldn't find any information, unfortunately, online about when the train stops here, because we've seen on the Wikicamps reviews a few people have been camping up where we are, and the train's rolled in and they've joined in on the champagne. Is it a champagne breakfast, Liz, or a champagne? Don't know.
It's a train. It could be anything.
Could be anything. Anyway.
The post office.
Oh, it's the old mailbags. Maybe it's that. Oh, the old post office. There's I think the telecom exchange there. There's the old telecom sign up there. The Indian Pacific takes about 4 days between Sydney and Perth, so I think you'd be pretty lucky to see it. It must only cross through here a couple of times a week at most. The challenge today is trying to get to Cocklebiddy. It's pretty rough and slow from what I can gather. It's a bit under, I think what we work out, about 150 k's, but we're expecting it'll take most of the day. I don't think we'll actually make it all the way today. We'll probably try and camp along the track somewhere.
And we don't know if we can take a caravan.
We don't know how caravan friendly it is.
Lucky we've got a little skinny one.
It's a tiny little hybrid, or a mega hybrid. We'll go jump in the cruiser, get in the aircon for a bit, get away from the flies, and see if we can make it to Cocklebiddy. We're kind of past the point of no return with fuel now. Trying to get back to Kalgoorlie from here, despite taking 5 or 6 hours, we'd be really pushing it for fuel range. So I'm really hoping we can get through to Cocklebiddy. Plan B would be Balladonia, but that's backtracking a fair way as well, and it's a rough old road as well. So yeah, look, I don't know. We'll let you know. We'll see how things play out. But where's the adventure in just taking the easy way, eh? Famous last words. I might regret saying that. Not surprisingly, Google doesn't know the way. It's giving me 3 different route alternatives, but I'm pretty sure none of them are possible. A combination of them is probably what we'll end up doing. But safe to say, when you get out here, Google isn't going to be your best option for navigating. So we've got the HEMA. This is the HX2 Plus. I'm just reversing the caravan, hence my concentration face. It's pretty good for off-road stuff. It's got some good off-road mapping. I don't really use it for on-road much. I tend to just use Google or whatever, but it's pretty good for off-road. It's got a lot more tracks and stuff marked. So I'll be using this in combination with paper maps. We've got the HEMA book as well. Yeah, to sort of navigate our way through. But I'm hoping to be fairly straightforward navigation. It's known as the Cocklebiddy Rawlinna Road, but it does sort of go through a lot of stations and crosses station tracks and stuff. And sometimes when you get into these stations where there's a lot of station tracks, it's not as obvious as you'd think which way is the right way to go. So yeah, I hope you got your gate opening skills ready, Dale, because I think we've got a few gates to open, and we will see what we come across. Hopefully we can get the van through.
The boys just asked what's at Cocklebiddy, and we were like, fuel. That's pretty much all that's at Cocklebiddy, fuel, and that's all we need. So let's go. You good? Strapped in?
Yeah.
Just need to shut my door wasn't shut properly.
Plastic stitch up.
Rightio, we're at the site. Let's see what this says. I think this is the dingo fence. Yeah, this is a dingo protection fence. This is private property.
Ready yet? Ready? Yeah.
It says owner's permission if necessary. That might be locked. Well, this isn't a great start. I think this gate's locked. We might have to try and get onto Rawlinna. It's not locked, but I'll just try again and see if I can ring him. It does say you should ask for permission.
We tried.
I have tried a couple of times. But I'm just having a bit of trouble getting onto Rawlinna station. I'm just at the dingo fence on just out of town at Rawlinna. It says that we need to get permission before we go through. Do I need to get in touch with them as well, do you think, or are they going to have a problem with me driving through here?
No, you should be right, mate.
Okay.
Just as long as you let us know.
Yep.
You should be good.
No worries. We're trying to do the right thing, mate. It's just a bit tricky sometimes, that's all.
Good man.
No, I appreciate it. All right, mate, we're going to head through this gate. If I see anyone at Rawlinna, I'll let them know I spoke to Neil at Cocklebiddy, and we should be all sweet, eh?
No problem, buddy.
Thanks, mate. Appreciate it.
All right, drive careful.
Thank you. Cheers. Well, there you go. That's good. So I wasn't able to get onto Rawlinna station, but that was Cocklebiddy station, which is the next station down, which we also have to cross through to get to the Eyre Highway. He's given us the okay to go through, and he said there'd be no dramas going through Rawlinna as well. So look, I'm going to just say I spoke to Neil. If anyone tries to shoot at us or something. No, I'm just kidding. No, we'll be right. We'll get through this gate and let's get on with it, eh?
He did say the road was pretty rough.
He said it's rough. He said be careful, take it slow, it's rough, and yeah, but we were sort of expecting that, so let's get into it.
Alright. You getting the gate?
No, you are.
Yeah.
That's why I'm waiting for you to turn the camera off. I'm going to film you getting the gate.
Great, thanks.
Have never been clearer.
Let's go!
Now the real fun begins, eh?
I know.
How you feeling?
Good.
Better now we got permission.
Better now we've got permission and someone knows we're out here. I'm just still nervous about this track. When the farmers say, well, I was going to say when the cockies, but they're called farmers. When the farmers say the track's rough, I just don't know what to expect. So, and I don't think many of them tow caravans through it either, so we'll be right. It's going to be fun.
It's just going to be rocky and slow going on.
Yeah.
But as long as it doesn't get too gnarly.
Yeah. And we've got Neil's number if all goes to custard.
So this track, very roughly now, will be cutting mostly south, a little bit east still. So we're sort of heading southeast to Cocklebiddy. We'd been travelling pretty well parallel to it, a couple hundred k's north of it, when we're on the railway road. But yeah, now we're sort of cutting southeast towards it. But we've got plans to not be on it for too long and then get off on the dirt again if we can make that one happen as well. So if we can pull all this together, she's going to be a wild adventure. It's going to be an epic adventure. As you saw just before when we got to the gate, there's a few things that could go wrong. It could all come crashing down or come unraveled. It could all fall apart, but it's all part of it. It's all part of the adventure.
So shallow, 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 shallow. But you were bright white.
What do you know about Rawlinna?
Rawlinna it's a sheep station, and it's actually the biggest sheep station in the world. That's 1 million hectares or 2.5 million acres in the old money. Bloody huge. They tend to run, from what I've read, they run around 65,000 head of sheep. So you can imagine mustering those up to go and shear them and everything would be an absolutely massive job. And from what I've read, they muster in January. So that'd be, I don't know why they do it in January. If someone knows, let us know. But yeah, that'd be a pretty interesting time to be mustering out here. She'd be odd. This is going to be a very slow trip. I'm struggling to go over 20k now at the moment.
Big roos out here, Dale.
Yeah, there's a surprising number of roos. We've seen a fair few. We haven't been able to get them all on camera, but we've seen a fair few roos. I'll tell you what else there is a lot of big rocks. Yeah, it's pretty varied. Pretty good going so far. We're averaging between 20 and 40 k's an hour. So I was just doing some sums in my head. I think that means we should only have about 10 hours of driving and we'll be out of here. Back to the highway. If you've been following our videos for a while, you know we absolutely froth on this sort of stuff, just getting in the middle of nowhere in these desolate, remote areas. It's just something about it that we just absolutely love, and I think you kind of either got to love it or you're going to hate it. But there's just so many elements for us that we really enjoy. One is just the adventure, the remoteness, just seeing country that just not many people get to lay their eyes on. But a big part of it as well is when you're in this sort of terrain, And when there isn't much around, you notice the details. You see the little things. You notice the bugs and the birds and the lizards and the animals and the change in the vegetation, the change in the terrain. It just, yeah, I don't know. There's just something that just makes you appreciate the small things, and it, I don't know, it grounds you. And to a lot of people, and on camera even, it probably looks pretty boring, but it doesn't stop changing. It rarely is it just the same for, oh, this big wedgie here. This is special stuff. I love this. And like Liz said yesterday, off camera, she's saying how cool it's going to be able to trace this one on the map, you know, highlight this one, yep, tick that one off, we've done that trek. And there's just nothing else near it. We're in the middle of absolutely nowhere. This is a cool way to do the Nullarbor. This is a really cool way to do the Nullarbor. We just come up on another gate, and it's got a signpost on it, which is good. Got a little sign to tell us we're heading the right way towards Cocklebiddy, and that's the second one we've seen, which is handy just to give you that reassurance that you're heading the right direction. It's pretty common knowledge, but for anyone out there that doesn't know, if you're ever travelling through a property, you always leave gates as you found them. If they're open, that's the way they stay. If they're closed, shut them behind you.
Do you want a ginger nut, darling?
I love a ginger nut.
Here you go.
Thank you. Oh, handbrake. Handbrake.
You wouldn't know. It doesn't do anything.
So you wouldn't notice. Had to do a quick pit stop. Keep rolling. Rolling. Kangaroo's looking at us like he's never seen a caravan before. Probably hasn't. What a wild adventure. I'm so glad we did this. What a shortcut, eh?
This is so cool. I love it. I really, really love it. I'm so glad we did this. Do you think people think we're nuts?
Yeah. We are. I think we're nuts.
Actually really funny the phases I go through with the hybrid, where at first I was like love it, and then we had that week of rain and I was like, oh my god, let's get a 24-foot van and have the kids have their own separate end where they can just play Lego and be, you know, have a little bit more space. And now I'm back to love it. Yeah, it's wild. I would say it's great for every circumstance except for back-to-back wet weather so far.
No setup is good all of the time. Like if there was the perfect setup that was just exactly what you needed all the time, that's what we'd have. But you know what? So would everyone. We'd all have the same thing. Like it's just that thing. It's like, are you willing to compromise a bit of internal space and it be a little bit crammed on wet rainy days or wet rainy weeks? But it means you can take it more places and do more stuff, and you're lighter and maybe using a bit less fuel and all those sorts of things. Like you just got to figure out what's important to you at the end of the day. But I think we were just ready for something different was the biggest thing, eh? Like we were just ready for, done a couple of full-size caravans now, done some cool stuff. Could have kept travelling that way, there was nothing stopping us, but it was just the desire to just have a crack at something different. I've still got ideas of building an expedition truck, I've still got ideas of doing it on a motorbike one day, I've got ideas of doing it in a yacht and doing a circumnavigation of Australia by water. Some or none of those things may ever eventuate, but that's just how I am. I just like to try new things and do something different. Different for us, not saying that they are different for the market, just different for us. Which is how we end up on tracks like this, because we just wanted to do something different. We didn't want to go on the Eyre Highway again. We love the Eyre Highway. It's one of the best road trips in Australia, but this is pretty bloody awesome. It's what drives us to explore and go off the beaten path. It's the same things that drive us to get a hybrid to live in and live in an even smaller space than while our kids are getting bigger, and it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, and that's fine. It doesn't always make sense to us either, but we're gonna give it a crack.
This is lit.
Well, it's almost 5 o'clock. It's definitely beer o'clock. We're going to pull up here for the night. Have a go at this for a campsite.
Soul searching, fall apart. Tunnel vision, hiding in the dark. Well, I ain't gonna holler before I really bleed. Salvation, a quick fix remedy. You said I never could change. I thought I never could change. They said I never could change. Damn right, I never would. Leave the light on. Leave the light on. Just leave the light on.
So I just got up to film this beautiful sunrise. I just felt the light coming in through the windows, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna go get up and grab this Nullarbor sunrise. Like, when else am I ever gonna be in the heart of like Cocklebiddy station? Completely flat land with the sun coming up. And really look at the clock. It was 4:20 a.m. the sunrise. So now everyone's snoozing and I'm awake. So I'm just gonna cook pancakes outside and surprise the boys. The Tooth Fairy has paid us a visit this morning, which is very nice. James will be very excited about that. It feels like you are just so small and so insignificant, and your biggest problem is by no means a big problem. I don't know. It's a really humbling perspective, and I think I love that about the outback, is that it just makes you feel different in a good way. It's not something you can describe to someone who hasn't felt it. And when you meet other people who get it and who feel it, you're like, you know that feeling? They're like, yeah, that feeling. And I'm like, oh, that's what I want. And they're like, yeah, let's go back there. But it's not necessarily a place, it's just, it's the way a place feels, or a way a place makes you feel. I love this sort of stuff. Harrison's always up early, so he'll probably hear this and then come running out and then be really tired and cranky later. Oh well, alright, pancake time. Who came last night, Jamesy?
My tooth.
The Tooth Fairy.
Yes. And my tooth.
We are back on the road this morning. The wind didn't really die off overnight, it kept up and it's still breezy this morning. Bit of cloud cover this morning, completely different day, totally different. Same landscape though. Expecting more of the same today, just crawling along, hoping we can average just sort of 20 k's an hour or something like that. We'll see how we go. So far so good. Get down to Cocklebiddy station and then I think just after we pass the station the road will turn into more of a gravel road and get down to the highway at Cocklebiddy, get some fuel and then make a plan from there. It's a couple of work days coming up, it's editing time, get the next video edited for you guys up on YouTube. Normally takes a couple of days, so we'll pull up somewhere and get that sorted out. That campsite last night will go down as one of the ones that sticks in our memory for a very long time. Just completely unique and just a really special experience to be able to do that and camp up like that, just in the middle of absolutely nowhere, no one around for probably hundreds of kilometres. And it's funny, you know, one of the main questions you get asked when you've been travelling as much as us that, oh, where's the best spot? Where's your favourite spot? Where's your favourite campsite? And it's so rarely the big beachfront site or the whatever, the amazing campground. Yeah, look, often it's the weather or it's the people or it's the experience or the memory. But last night's will go down as one of those ones that sticks in our memory forever. Middle of an adventure, huge, epic trip through the middle of absolutely nothing. I don't think we've ever felt, well, it's been a very long time since we felt this remote.
How was the sleeping this morning, darling?
I don't want to talk about that. Someone decided to get up at 5 in the morning and take sunrise shots and
4 in the morning.
4 in the morning to take sunrise shots and then 5 in the morning decided to start cooking pancakes. You think you know someone, eh? You think you know a girl and then she does things like that and wakes you up at 5 in the morning for pancakes.
You sound ungrateful.
I am ungrateful. I would rather no pancakes than sleep. It's been another long, slow drive. I think it's been another, I don't know, 2.5 hours this morning in the car. We are just coming up on Cocklebiddy station, the homestead, which is where we're hoping the road improves. It's been awesome though. It's been a really good drive, but quite a long one. I reckon we stopped for filming and stuff a lot, but I reckon pretty close to a 5-6 hour drive from Rawlinna to Cocklebiddy. It'll be all up, but we'll see when we get there.
It's been so nice out here. Off camera, we've just been going through all the specs for this new van that we're for our new HS2 and tossing up between different options that we've got, trying to nail down a colour palette and the finishes on that. We've both got different ideas how much timber should be in this van, how much is too much, but we'll see. But yeah, we're just, I think, leaving the station homestead gates now and then onto the gravel road to meet up with the Eyre Highway.
I think this might be your last gate, Lizzie.
Oh, thank goodness. And of course there's like a million sheep just behind us here that you just stirred up.
I don't think there's a million.
There's probably 1,000. Alright.
Don't get eaten by sheep.
Don't get eaten by the sheep. Don't let the sheep out, it's a real treat.
You survived.
I survived. No sheep ran out to attack me. I'm not worried about sheep, but cattle scare the bejeebies out of me. So I'm gonna reckon they're friendly. Cows across the road from our citrus farm used to charge the fences every morning while you're trying to catch the school bus, and I'm scarred for life. And so I was like, no, cattle are fine. And I'm like, mate, they're so not fine.
Well, it's not exactly the cruisy gravel road we were hoping it was going to be. I can see Cocklebiddy. See a few trucks in the distance. The highway is near. Oh, I reckon I could kiss the blacktop. That last bit just about broke me. Oh, I'm just so many rocks, just so rocky and bumpy. And anyway, what an adventure. Oh, I thought we had done all the gates. Look at this, just to get into the roadhouse, one more gate.
Well, this is the civilization we've been dreaming of for the last 3 days. It ain't much. Alright, we're gonna go make lunch and open every cupboard very carefully and make sure nothing jumps out at us. Alright, see you soon. Simon needs to have a snooze. You need a break.
Yeah, I need a break.
It's like someone woke you up at 4:30.
Yeah, yeah, good idea.
It was such a great idea. Alright, let's go.
But yeah, nav is handy to have. Oh, I'm a poet and I didn't know it.
Look at me, Kimmy, looking at me.
Every time we turn the camera on, we get to a rough section where I have to concentrate and I can't talk to the people.
Oh my gosh, I wasn't filming any of that. I just went on this massive long rant and I don't think I filmed it. Let me check the camera, hang on. What do you call the middle of the road between the wheel tracks?
The middle of the road?
The middle of the road.